Hi everyone, welcome to Get Good at Golf and welcome to Slice Week. This week on the channel we're going to help you never slice the ball again off the tee and help you play the golf of your life. Today we're going to talk about sequencing. We've covered a couple of different factors that can help you stop slicing, so if you do want to get good at golf, make sure you do hit that subscribe button and throw a like on this video, because we're going to bring you daily content all through next year to help you do just that. But today, sequencing when it comes to slicing a golf ball is something which so many people get wrong and so many men get wrong. And now I'm not trying to be sexist here, I'm not trying to separate people, but generally what you start to see, we got told this in our PGA training, men generally like to use their upper body for strength. They like to use the biceps, the chest, all the kind of upper body muscles, not the bigger muscles, not the engine, not the driver. So when you see a golfer with poor sequence, sometimes you'll see a golfer stand at a golf ball and they'll be really, really tall, really, really fit, really athletic, everything that I'm not, unfortunately. But you'll see him stand at the ball and you think, wow, this guy's gonna absolutely crush this golf ball. He looks like he's made to hit 300-yard straight drives. And then they'll sort of kind of take the club away and then they'll start the downswing with the shoulders, and then the hips fire into it, and then eventually the hands come into it, and all sorts starts to happen. Now, if your sequencing isn't correct, your club path isn't going to be correct through the ball. So we all know that if you slice a golf ball, generally your driver or your iron is working from right to left. It's working from outside to inside. With your irons, you'll start to see some divots that point heavily left, are probably a bit deep because you've got very steep on the ball, because your angle of attack is affected also by that poor sequencing. So how can I, first of all, address that, and then how can I fix that? Chris has got a fantastic drill for us towards the end of this video to help you stop slicing your driver and get your sequencing better. But how do you address it? Generally, you'll start to see that if your sequencing is out, it can start from here, it can start from the get-go. If you start to see golfers that kind of take the driver away in a one-piece movement here, and there's no separation, and they can talk to you all day and have a conversation like this, then the sequencing is already out. You can see there that if I then come in with the upper body, the club wants to work over here, wants to work steeply into the ball, wants to exit left. They never really get into a full follow through because they're in their own way. The ball starts heavily left and finishes to the right. That's how you start to see and address bad sequencing. Now, for me, one of the things that's really, really simple when it comes to sequencing is the takeaway. If you get the takeaway right, you're in a much better position for a good sequence in the downswing, which is obviously going to get the ball to start more on line, probably go a bit further because you've not given a glancing blow to the ball, and give you much better drives. So what I want to see on the way back is a sequence where you move the club away first here. You'll see how my hips haven't moved at all there. I'm moving the club back on a nice plane here. I'm not whipping it inside, I'm not picking it up massively. I'm just allowing the club to move with my shoulders and arms. Once the club gets to around parallel, that's when I want the lower body to engage. That's when I set the club at the top of the backswing nicely. Now, what do I do from there? Because I've done the perfect takeaway, I've got into a nice position at the top. Now, a nice position at the top doesn't necessarily mean a textbook photo finish. It means somewhere where you can start to deliver that club perfectly through the motions into impact to help you hit better drives. Now, for a lot of people, that means, yes, the club's in a nice kind of position at the top, you've got a nice triangle at the top, but for a lot of people, it doesn't mean that. It means somewhere where you can consistently start your downswing with your lower body. This is the key here. I want you to start the downswing with your left hip. So the hips start moving first, the legs start moving first, and then the torso starts moving, then the shoulders start moving, then the arms start moving, then the shaft starts moving, then the head starts moving. So it's almost like a bit of a chain method. It starts from the ground up, and with that you're going to not only move the driver through the sequence better, but you're going to move it faster as well. You're going to hit a lot stronger drives. Imagine if I was going to throw a ball towards the camera now. I wouldn't throw it with my upper body and then my lower body because I'd look all skew-if and uncomfortable. I'd throw it a little bit like a baseball pitch where the lower body clears first, then the midriff, and then the top of the body. Everything's the same. You look at boxing, exactly the same. I've never punched anyone in my life, but if I did, I probably wouldn't, but you know what I mean. So if I get that sequencing correct, I'm in a much more athletic position to be able to hit much better drives down the middle of that fairway. Guys, stay tuned because Chris has got a fantastic drill to help you do that and get good at golf.
So guys, as we know, we always need a drill for you on the driving range for you to improve this winter. We want to give you something to work on your sequence. You'll have seen a lot of videos talking about sequence, and it's finding something that works for you. Not every single drill is going to be personal to you, but it's worth giving them a try and seeing if it can help you and get rid of that dreaded slice. So obviously James mentioned there we want to do that takeaway. We've got the takeaway from here, then we want to hinge up, and then at the top, again, I shouldn't be able to breathe easy, but one big thing for me is when we're at the top of the backswing, we should be very much loaded on that right hand side. So I'm not over here loaded, which a lot of people get mixed up with, but I'm very much centered. So from this angle, what we'd want to see is that yes, we've got the takeaway, we move it away first, we then hinge and we get to the top, but I'm very much centered. But from here, I'm loaded on that right hand side and I should be able to tap the foot. And then from there, I should then be able to think, right, that's the first start of the downswing. I'm into that left hand side, my lower body is going. I come down into delivery, through to my finish, and then very much in the finish I should be able to do the same. My weight should have transferred onto this left hand side, because what we see from a lot of slicers is this position exactly here. We're in that, okay, right. Yep, I struck it well, but that's lost. Or it's on the other fairway, but look at that position. My weight's back, my body's pointing over there, my hits have turned, I've got no sequence, I've got no weight transfer. Although I've hit that out of the middle, I've lost probably at least 150 yards, and I've lost, in general, a golf ball.
One thing that I want to address, Chris, as well, is when we talk about the hips, how they rotate and don't slide into impact, because that's something which so many people generally get wrong when they slice it.
Yeah.
It can really cost you.
And that's it, and you want to see if you're somebody who does feel like you slide and you move across this way, and that's where your slice comes from. The thing that we see a lot is this left foot is very straight. If it's very straight, if you stand there, see how it restricts how far you can turn. If we have that foot at nearly 45 degrees, you can see now the opposite. I can get a lot more hip turn, and it's very much easier for me to get my chest and hips through towards my target. So a couple of swings, feeling like, okay, I can go to the top, I've got that takeaway, I'm up at the top, a couple of steps, and then from there, again, you can do this with an iron, come down, feel like you hit the ball and get through to your finish. And then once you've done that, we should start to see that you're able to come in, get that good setup, left foot turned out, and really turn through into that position. That's a nice little draw down there, a little bit of a toe strike, but it's in play down there, and it's not that dreaded slice.